What is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video, we're talking about possible starts going into tomorrow's patch. Well, today's patch. Now, I'm recording it on Sunday. I've just been kind of theory crafting a little bit. Probably thought of a few more ideas, but at this point right now and starting stream tomorrow, these are the ideas that I have for how I'm going to be building in support once these changes come through. Now, why did these changes come through? Well, the big one is one, Thebes is getting a mega change, a mega shift. It's not a nerf outright, but it is getting a massive change from being a protection item to being a health item. It's going to give 1,000 health once you're fully stacked instead of, I think, what is it right now? 55 protections of each. So going down from 55 protections of each at 2,200 to 1,000 health at 2,200. So it is I guess it is fair to say it is a little bit of a nerf, even though 1,000 health sounds insane. Just losing out on the health and protections is just not great. But the biggest reason it's a nerf is that it just nukes any protection item that supports really have to build, or even soul inners have to build in the earlier portion of the game, or really outright. There's not a ton of high protection items anymore. So with that being said, Thebes first is for the most part dead. I have an idea for a couple builds with Thebes just to see how it feels, but my 5 ideas are, starting with my first idea. You're going to see me building a lot more heroism and selflessness than War Flag. Having this give a 15% of your maximum health shield to an ally is actually going to be crazy, I think, when you're getting to 4,000, 5,000 health kind of easily. So I am pretty confident in saying that I'll be building more heroism than War Flag. For this first build, it's more focused on being just pretty tanky as much as I can be for as cheap as possible. And I think Spectral fulfills that niche very well. The stats on Spectral don't change. It is 2,300, 50 health, 150 max, or sorry, 50 prots. 150 max health. I think it is a good first item. It makes it so the real only threat against you in the early game is a mage. Those 50 protections are really good against any damage from an assassin that's like good poke, or like if a Thor walls you, hammers you, you shouldn't take too much damage there. And then the constant damage of an ADC will be reduced even more by the auto attack damage, or sorry, auto attack speed being reduced along with those protections. So I think Spectral could be a really good first item. Cheap on top of that. And then something like a Phoenix Feather second. This item is getting a slight rework. Phoenix Feather is getting a slight reduction in the health, down from 325 to 300, and the magical protections from 40 down to 35. However, you'll fire out 3 pulses healing you for 100 HP plus 10% of your missing health, and dealing true damage equal to your level plus 3% of your max health from items to enemies within 3.2 meters around you. And the cooldown is getting reduced. So I think it could be a unique opportunity to build this as like a tanky magical defense item. It's not too expensive, and I think it has a decent option in that second slot. Beyond that, this is probably when you want to start getting some sort of actives online. I think Stampede is still really, really good. Always other options like Xerxes Hexstone, and you're obviously going to want to get your starter at some point, but something like this is something I'm interested in trying. Yes, it's not a ton of cooldown, but it's going to be difficult to come by stats kind of at all. So this is kind of like that first idea I had, just to be omega tanky. My second option is based around the idea of, if health is something that I can get a lot of, let's just try to build around this health as much as possible. So the idea that I had was something building directly into Thebes, and then going into something like an Arrow's Bow Yogis. The Thebes gives me about 1,000 health. Need another 250 here and another 400 health here for semi-cheap. Total 22, 2250, 2300. I mean, you're spending what, 6,700 gold on these items, which is not that bad, especially getting 3 items all together, and they're adding up, giving you what did I say, 1,650 health, and then you're going to be healing an ally based on 3% of your max health. And this is not 3% max health from items. This is just 3% max health. So this is like a decently realistic spot to be in, 4,600. Just 1 auto attack, and I'm healing my ally for 138. Yeah, and that means they're going to need anti-heal, and they're going to need constant reapplications of it. If you get hit by 1 divine, even through divine, like 1 anti-heal, instead of 138, it'd be, what, I think it's reduced by 40%. I think that's what divine is. So you're still healing for what, 80? Yeah, that's going to be pretty insane. So that was that's my second idea. Just play around this max health. My third idea is, I have Providence might just be statted well enough to just purchase now as just this gives me everything I need kind of as a support. It gives me a decent amount of health, decent amount of protections. It gives me a passive where I don't have to worry about warding as much, so I don't have to put as much gold into vision. So I think there's a possibility that I have Providence could come up. I'd probably pair it with something like Eye into Ankh just for 2 pretty cheap items. And realistically, Thebes isn't like a first item anymore. You don't have to go at first. So like even Providence into Ankh into Thebes could be a very viable build. And then you can start building your actives also. You don't really have to go into Thebes also. I just think it could be a pretty cozy item there. Or even, you know, Thebes into Ankh as a possibility also. I just think there's a possibility that I is statted well enough now that you can just purchase it as that first item for you. But that one's not too exciting. That's not one where I'm looking forward to, like, I can't wait to test Providence tomorrow. No, not at all. One that I was pretty interested in is a Thebes Rush. I know I just said you don't have to build Thebes first. In this idea, you have to build Thebes first. However, Thebes into something like Spirit Robe, which 20 magical protections, physical protection is not that crazy. The passive is what really excites me as the combo with Thebes. So Thebes, 1,000 health. Spirit Robe gives you a little bit of protections. However, a lot of times you are getting hit by protection or getting hit by CC. Those 40 physical magical protections when you're hit by a hard CC are really effective. On top of healing 6% of your max health over that duration. So you're going to 1% max health heal. And even after this, whatever, later into the game, you can go something like Yogi's Necklace, which is giving you kind of like a decently cool combo with Spirit Robe, where with Spirit Robe, you heal for 1% of your max health over 6 seconds. Yogi's Necklace is 0.5% of your max health every second. So these two combo together would be 1.5% of your max health over those 6 seconds, and then you go back to that 0.5% until you get hit by another CC. So something like this could be really exciting, really fun to play around with also. And then I obviously would go into something like Phoenix Feather also later for another heal, scaling off my max health. That's kind of the idea with that build. And even if you were really wanting to get into it, like a Shield of the Phoenix, just to double, triple, quadra down on healing. Just don't go too much into healing, because if you go too much into healing, you're going to build a lot of anti-heal, and then your healing becomes less effective. And the last one, another pretty boring one, but I think I have to shout it out, is just Cloak first. Can you get it stacked? And honestly, as sad as this sounds, even if you can't get it stacked, it's one of the most efficient protection items you can buy. Is that fun for how bad it's statted? No, not really at all. But you might just have to be, you know, building into it. But you do something like Cloak into something like Stampede and then Thebes. Or you can go, you know, Cloak into a Glad Shield, into like an Ansile Pridwin later. I wonder if they end up buffing Glad Shield's passive a little bit, because 40% of your item protections is solid right now. But once you lose a lot of these protections, it's going to feel a lot worse. That is my fifth and final idea, and that is just with Selflessness. That's not full build. Once you get Heroism, you're getting more protections, you're getting more max health. You get it at level 15 also. And kind of like that Thebes build that I was talking about, Heroism is based off your max health. So I think that makes Thebes just kind of always almost better. Obviously, War Flag is still based off of your percent max health, restoring when you know, get the assist on minions. But I think it's just way easier to just passively be effective with Heroism. And there's no anti-shield in the game. So that's always, there's not great anti-shield options in the game, I think is a better way to say it. Those are the ideas that I have. The 5 ideas have. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys drop a follow, subscribe to the channel if you guys like this content. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.